Ladies and gentlemen, from the sensational Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino, Niagara Falls, New York, King of the Cage and General Tire present this 3-round bout in the bantamweight division. Your referee in charge of the action, Steve Ward. Introducing first, in the Lucas Oil blue corner, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, official weight 140.2 pounds. He represents the Hayabusa Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, from Kingston, Ontario, Canada, presenting Tyler Wilson. Here's opponent across the cage, fighting out of our General Tire red corner, stands at 5 feet 8 inches tall, official weight also 140.2 pounds. He represents WNY MMA and Fitness. Ladies and gentlemen, from Buffalo, New York, presenting Mike's Scrappy-Doo Show. Once again, your referee in charge of this 3-round bantamweight bout, Steve Ward, now with the final instructions.
Okay, gents, there are no rules in the back. I expect you to do a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. This is my commands at all times. If you want to touch gloves, do it now.
We kick off round number 1 between Tyler Wilson and Mike Shul. Tyler Wilson fighting out of the blue corner and Mike Shul fighting out of the red. Fighters exchanging some rather heavy shots right off the bat.
Oh yeah, it looks like someone wants to knock out in this round.
Well, I think the fans and all of us here would love to see that.
Oh, most definitely. You know, that's what we come to the fights for. See someone get knocked out. Shul going for a single leg right there. Persistent too.
Wilson doing a pretty good job defending that. Takes a couple strikes there.
Well, see, I mean, Shul did a good job right there. He went for that takedown, didn't get it right away. He let go of it and just came up with some strikes. You know, you don't want to try and just keep going for that takedown, if it ain't there.
You know, waste all that energy.
Yeah, smart move right there. And now we got Wilson with the takedown. Shul with the possible guillotine right there, guillotine choke. Looks like he's trying to sink it in. Legs look like, everything looks like it's right in the right spot.
Shul doing a great job keeping control, maintaining position. Wilson could be in a bad spot here.
Well, Shul's got to stretch him out, you know. If he's got it, well, his arm ain't in all the way, but I mean, if he stretches him out, that'll help too. Make it a little more uncomfortable for Wilson. But then again, if Shul keeps hanging on, you know, he could be wearing his arm out right there. And that's what you don't want. You know, if you don't got it, let it go and switch to something else.
Move on, find something else, a new opportunity, new position.
Yeah, because even just holding it, no matter what, you know, you're still holding it, putting some pressure there, and it's going to tire your arm out.
Right.
And the way these guys have been throwing, you know, leather, it's going to, you're going to need that. Oh, look at that. Transitions right there to an arm bar. Well, Shul doing a good job of transitioning, but right away, you know, Wilson trying to drop some elbows. Still going for that arm bar. Wilson doing a good job pulling it out.
Very even fight so far.
Yeah, no one's got an advantage. I mean, you know, Wilson advantage because he's on top, but both guys, you know, going back and forth right here, you know, doing a good job defending, good job of attacking.
Yeah, Shul seems to have no problem defending from his back, and he has to. Wilson doing a good job dropping some elbows here and there.
Yeah, this is where when guys are on the ground, this is where I'm like, hey, you know what, this is exciting. It ain't just them wrestling or grappling on the ground. You know, they're moving.
Look at this here. Wilson looking for the slam possibly, but Shul not going to let it happen.
Oh, he's sinking in right there. Look at that. Now he adjusted. He's got it in.
Got the triangle.
For that leg, they're sinking it even deeper, get it tight.
It's not looking good for Wilson. This is a very dangerous position to be in.
And the only thing Wilson's got on him is that he's pushed toward the cage, which is, alleviating the taking some pressure off his neck right there. All right, man. There it is right there. Now he's got room. Shul pulls that head down. Oh,
Wilson doing whatever he can to get out of this.
I mean, he's doing a good job. I mean, it's good. It's been a good, 30 seconds, he's had this in there.
Yeah, it's definitely giving Mike Shul a hard time.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Shul's got to get that arm across his chest. That'll cinch it up right there. That arm's what's saving Wilson right now. I don't think Shul realizes that. As long as that arm's there, it gives his neck and him breathing room. Or Shul's transition and grabs that arm and turns it into an arm bar. Same thing, but right there, look at that. Oh.
Wilson making his way out of this.
Oh, he's got
little by little, inch by inch.
10 seconds and they can restart. Oh, there he goes. He's getting out. Whew.
Just in time. Just like that, round one is complete. Let's take a look at the replay, see how that went down.
These guys started off on fire, standing up, going back and forth. Wilson goes for a takedown, and he gets it. And from there, I mean, Shul doing a good job of transitioning from, one submission to the next, keeping Wilson guessing on what's going on. I mean, it was good action all the way on the ground. They just weren't just stalling out on each other, or holding each other, nothing like that.
Yeah, both fighters did an excellent job of just maintaining positions. Shul was fighting for that, what it looked like a triangle choke for the longest time for that, basically the whole second half of that round. Wasn't quite able to get it. Wilson was just working it, loosening him up, and managed to get out of there.
Yeah, no, it was a good thing for Wilson.
Yeah, we'll see how these fighters improve. Coming up after the break in round number 2, Tyler Wilson versus Mike Shul.
King of the Cage on MAV TV will return after this. Tonight's presentation of King of the Cage is brought to you by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world. And by General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Welcome back. We just finished up round number 1 between Tyler Wilson and Mike Shul. We were talking about how Shul was trying to sink that triangle choke for the latter half of that round, but just wasn't quite able to get it. Wilson worked hard and was able to get out of it before the round's end.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was just, little things that Shul needed to do to finish it, but Wilson at the same time doing things that kept him alive.
Well, we'll see how the fight develops coming up in round number 2. Once again, Tyler Wilson fighting out of the blue corner and Mike Shul fighting out of the red.
Let's see if Wilson goes for that takedown again, because Shul had an advantage, even though, Wilson was on top. I mean, Shul was transitioning from one submission to another one. I wouldn't want to take him down again if that's what happened to me.
Yeah, I would imagine Shul was almost convinced at one point. He almost had that. It was very, very close. Oh, just like that, gets knocked down. Wilson laying down the heat.
Wilson needs to move out of that guard position right there. There you go. Go to side control there. Keep dropping those bombs.
Wilson turning the tables right at the beginning of this match. He says, you know, I'm not going to sit on the ground. I'm not going to sit in a choke all match just like he did that last round. He's taken, you know, some real initiative here.
Well, that was good. But the only thing right now I'm seeing is if you don't get this pass and get side control, stand back up. Do it all over again. You know, you don't want to be in Shul's guard because he's going to have the advantage.
Yeah, Shul has shown thus far that he's very comfortable on his back. He's, you know, he's able to figure out what he needs to do from there, and Wilson's really going to have to look out for that.
I mean, you know, Shul's got some jiu-jitsu. You can see it. You know, he knows what he's doing right there on the ground, and that's where, from Wilson's point of view, hey, get back up. Obviously, you can knock him down, put him back up, and you'll give him some good shots.
This match is brought to you in part by General Tire and Lucas Oil.
As well, Wilson, I mean, I'll give him, he's on top, and he's throwing some elbow stuff, but to me, he's more in danger staying here than if he lets Shul up. Because from any position Shul attacks, you know, and he goes for submissions. And
yeah, Shul was really able thus far to show us that he could take a defensive situation and turn it right into offense, you know, at the flip of a coin.
Yeah. There we go. You know, Wilson gets full mount. Shul didn't like that too much. But look at that. Deliver those shots. That's what we're talking about. Get a good position. Do your damage.
Yeah, Wilson doing a much better job this round of maintaining control. He's landing those heavy blows, shots that's needed. Is definitely going to start racking up for him in the judge's eyes.
Yeah, I know his position right here is a lot better, you know, because when he's in Shul's guard, he has nothing. Right here, he's got Shul in an awkward position where Shul can't do no kind of submission on him, transition from here to there. And Wilson, look at that. Going for a little choke right here.
Wilson mixing things up a little bit here.
He's a little bit off, but he's trying. Is he here? I mean, like I said, this is where he wants to keep his weight on him like this. You know, Shul, there you go. Look at that. Got his back. That's where you want to be right here. Soften him up a little bit. Give him to relax and open up and give it to you. Look at that.
Uh-oh.
That looks
That
good.
looks deep.
Yep.
That might be it.
And that's not how you defend a choke. I'll tell you right now. You don't just put your hands there and pray. You got to start peeling those hands off. I mean, when you see a fighter do that, it's just like, whoa, what are you doing? Come on.
Yeah. Fight the hands. You got to focus on whatever you need to do to try to get any kind of pocket of space for your neck, you know, to breathe.
Exactly.
Take a look at the replay here.
Well,
what a turnaround from Wilson.
Yeah, no, it surprised me right there. You know, right here, you know, Wilson knocks him down with a punch, and he comes in with a nice flurry. And, you know, Shul did his thing, you know, moving Wilson around, trying to, you know, get submissions and all this other stuff. But in the end, Wilson came out ahead.
Yeah, Shul was able to do a great job of maintaining that defense. You know, was able to counter most everything that Wilson was throwing at him. But you know, he couldn't do that for the entire fight. You know, he was gonna have to take some kind of initiative there. And Wilson looked like he had a little bit more energy. Was able to take the back, sink that choke in.
I think he wore him out right here in the second round.
Definitely.
And that's why Shul was stuck, you know, right here in this position.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 3 minutes and 23 seconds of round number 2. Your winner by tap out victory from a rear naked choke, Tyler Wilson.
King of the Cage on MAV TV will return after this.